This is how I'm able to talk to strangers 10 times better than I used to as a homeschooled teen. So, I recently came back from a meetup in Yosemite that I did with like 6 other guys. And at the beginning of this meetup, I was like rusty with, cold approaches and talking to strangers and stuff because I had been like grinding previously and you get that point. But this meetup was my time to be social. So while me and my friend were in the gym this one time, hitting like a mad leg day pro, I went up to this really cute girl, and her really cute fucking friend, asking how many like sets they had left on like the machine that they were using. So, and for the coming days, I would be more social than I was previously, more courageous to speak to strangers. Also, one of my friends ended up like approaching this one girl, asking if she could take a picture of us, and he ended up taking a talking with her for like a while, and eventually organizing a date with her that Friday, which he ended up not going to anyway. But like the biggest takeaway from what I've learned recently is to not overestimate. What I mean by that is that you don't want to think you're going to be able to walk out your house and immediately do some like hard shit, like cold approaching the cutest girl in your fucking city, for fuck's sake. Like, you can't expect shit basically, because what happens is that you expect to be able to do something that's higher than your current like capability before actually building it up. And then you don't do it because you weren't warmed up. Think about it this way, bro. Usually when you're just like a bit warmed up, it's so much easier to hit like a 1 rep max. Whereas when you're like cold and shit, you can probably only do like 10 pounds lighter. Maybe like you don't relate to that analogy or something, but the point is, bro, you have to not expect too much immediately. Take on at the start only what you're easily capable of doing, and then slowly overloading, just like in the gym. Real quick, bro, if you feel lonely, like you don't have friends, you feel socially deprived, and you want that true friendship and brotherhood that is so lost in so many guys these days, especially in homeschoolers, go check out my product first link in the description. So what happens is that you start to get into a more social mood, things start flowing better, you've cleansed yourself from like autist energy, and you just feel a lot more viable to approach. Whereas at the beginning, before you did the easy shit, you wouldn't have been able to do that big thing of going up to the cute girl. Like, this applies to actually when you do the big things as well. Like, when you go up to approach a girl and you expect to get like her number and go on a date in a couple days, that is not your experience level. You can't expect that. You have to start small as fuck and build it up. Like, I've never actually approached a cute girl and gotten into like a full-on lengthy conversation before. I have with like approaching guys, but not girls, because that's like, when I approach a girl, my experience level is lower with them. So I only expect to like say hi and how are you doing today. That's all I expect. And this might be like disappointing or something, but the truth is that this is actually how you start to make progress with your social life. This is how you build it up, is like by slowly building up the experiences until you break a new like threshold. For example, on this story where I asked this cute girl and her friend like a week ago how many sets they had left, at the time that was like my upper barrier. That was almost at my top tier social situations. Even though it was like very simple and short, it still was like my upper barrier, and we ended up like leaving before I could break my threshold and go like approach more girls. But let's say I kept on going that day, kept on approaching with like the approaches getting harder and harder, building up the difficulty level, building up the social flow. I likely would have broke a new threshold that day. I likely would have been able to hold like a 15-second conversation rather than a 5-second one. Like, you get what I'm saying here, right? So when you have to realize that there are levels to it, you have to realize there are levels to it. And guess what, bro? My approach to these cute girls was probably my 3rd social interaction during that gym session. I started even smaller before that. So like, when you see attractive motherfuckers talking to everyone like it's nothing, approaching girls, getting numbers easy, etc., what you didn't see was how long it took to build up that. And the thing is, you still feel like you're making progress, even when it's slow. So during one gym session, you might like approach some guy and say hi for the first time, and that's like a new threshold for you. And you're happy knowing that you broke that through that barrier to a new level of social interaction skill. So don't expect too much immediately. Start small, build it up, get warmed up, and make slow progress, because that's what most other people do. So to actually end up in front of people being social is the hard part, but how do you actually navigate the social interaction? Well, see, this is the problem. The problem is that you're thinking about it. The problem is that you're thinking too much about it. When you think about it and you start overthinking about it, then you fucking like stumble over your words or some shit. You want to actually think as little as possible. Like, stop asking questions about how to improve your social interactions, because asking that question in the first place is the problem. All that you need to do is practice. Like, I don't have any like clickbait shit of like social cues and autistic as shit to like make you act like a fucking bot. All you need to do is be a normal human being and stop thinking about weird shit like this, because that's what makes you fucking weird in these interactions, is when you're trying to think about like what that random guy said in that like top 5 social cues video about what to do when this minute thing happens, bro. Like, just practice being in social situations. Just get used to being social, and you will eventually just naturally start to pick up on social cues without noticing. Like, I've never once watched one of those like weird ass videos, and I became 10 times more able to interact with the people simply by doing it more and becoming more natural at it. It's not like the nice answer that will get like views or some shit, but it's the answer that will get you results. It's that simple, bro. So the takeaway, if you want to like take away a gist of this video, it's basically just to keep shit simple, because right now your capacity is no higher than simple shit. So don't overthink and just slowly build up your skills by practicing. Sounds autistic when you're like practicing social skills, but believe me, bro, this is what makes you true progress in that area of life. By just practicing within the actual like session of being social, and like within the long term of like building up like your threshold. But again, just keep it fucking simple and build it up slowly. That's what it is for most things in life, honestly. So it applies the same way with social life. I hope this video was valuable for you, bro. Go click the top link in the description, watch that video that's in there, and yeah, peace out, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.